At Memorial Care Saddleback Medical Center, we're dedicated to making your birthing experience exceptional. That's why we offer a dedicated maternity concierge, private birthing suites, and around-the-clock care from expert physicians and nurses. And for babies who need extra attention, our Level 3 NICU provides advanced specialized care in a nurturing environment. Your journey into parenthood deserves the very best. Saddleback Medical Center. Caring is our calling.
On today's Smart 7, Rachel Reeves heads to the US for trade talks, Trump lashes out at Zelensky again, and much more. It's Thursday, 24th of April, it's Bucket List Day, and happy birthday, Kelly Clarkson.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
Donald Trump's strategy of starting a trade war with China seems to be in real trouble. The US president has been hinting for a week that Chinese President Xi Jinping should call the White House to make a deal, with no response from Beijing. And with the stock markets continuing to flounder, it seems as though the US president is going to blink first.
We are going to have a fair deal with China. It's going to be fair. They know that they can't get away with it any longer, but they're still going to do fine. And we're going to have a country that you can be proud of, not a laughingstock all over the world for many years.
The Chancellor Rachel Reeves is in the US in a bid to secure a deal for the UK and is due to meet US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. It's understood Reeves was prepared to offer concessions in return for a reduction in tariffs, but the US side appears to want restrictions on US beef lifted, which may be a step too far for the Chancellor.
We're not going to rush into a deal. That would be the wrong approach. We want to secure the right deal for Britain. And beyond the tariff reduction that we want to see, we're also looking to build on the defence and national security partnership that's so strong between the UK and the United States.
There was plenty of confusion on Wednesday over what were supposed to be high-level peace talks on Ukraine between the US and European allies. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio dropped out from the talks, as did UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy, leaving a Ukrainian delegation which included Zelensky's Chief of Staff, Andriy Yermak, to meet with a European delegation, and Trump's envoy Keith Kellogg. Christophe Lemoyne, French Foreign Ministry spokesperson, was doing his best to sound positive about the discussions.
At the very end, the end goal of everybody is securing Ukraine and giving Ukraine a strong and durable peace plan.
The Daily Telegraph had leaked details on a potential US deal proposal which included recognising Crimea as Russian territory, a freeze on the front lines and no NATO membership for Ukraine. Ukrainian President Zelensky was not happy, which inspired another Donald Trump rant, and Marco Rubio once again threatened that the US will simply walk away.
This is a terrible war and it needs to end. Because it has no military solution. You know, Russia's not just going to roll over Ukraine and take the whole country, and Ukraine's not going to push them all the way back to where they were before 2014.
With only 1 week to go until polling day in the local and mayoral elections, things were a little tense at this week's Prime Minister's Question Time. There's been an ongoing spat all week between Robert Jenrick and Kemi Badenoch as the Justice Secretary tries to negotiate a voting pact between Reform and the Tories. The actual Tory leader was more interested in challenging Starmer on the Equality Act ruling. However, he was ready to push back and did so with some particularly cutting remarks on the Conservative Party's local election chances.
He doesn't have the balls. The Prime Minister only tells people what they want to hear.
The truth is, it doesn't really matter what the Leader of the Opposition says, because nobody believes, none of them, that she's going to lead them into the next election anyway. The member for Clacton's going to do what he always does, eat the Tory party for breakfast.
The formal mourning for Pope Francis got underway on Wednesday as thousands of people queued in St. Peter's Square in Rome for their chance to pay their respects. He lay in a plain wooden coffin in traditional vestments, as per his request to keep the funeral simple, although world leaders are due to fly in for the ceremony on Saturday morning. 103 cardinals met in Rome to agree a 9-day mourning period for Pope Francis, which means the conclave to decide his successor won't begin until at least the 5th of May. US Vice President J.D. Vance was among the last to see the pontiff on Sunday, and he's been brutally mocked online ever since. But speaking to the press on his return from India, he says he didn't realise how ill the Pope was.
Obviously, when I saw him, I didn't know that he had less than 24 hours still on this earth. I think it was a great blessing. He affected a lot of lives, and I try to just, remember that I was lucky that I got to shake his hand and tell him that I pray for him every day.
Still to come on today's Smart 7, in association with Metro, Palace keep calm at the Emirates, plus we get some hints about season 5 of Stranger Things. Right after this.
1-800-Flowers.com knows that a gift is never just a gift. A gift is an expression of everything you feel and helps build more meaningful relationships. 1-800-Flowers takes the pressure off by helping you navigate life's important moments by making it simple to find the perfect gift. From flowers and cookies to cake and chocolate, 1-800-Flowers helps guide you in finding the right gift to say how you feel. To learn more, visit 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/ACAST.
Welcome back. We've had a busy week of Premier League action this week, ahead of this weekend's FA Cup semi-finals. Crystal Palace are due to face Aston Villa in Wembley on Saturday, but first they had the matter of a trip to take on Arsenal in the Premier League on Wednesday night. There was no sign of Palace holding back, however, and they pushed Arsenal hard, with the game finishing 2-2. Mikel Arteta was irritated at the dropped points, as it leaves Liverpool needing just 1 point on Sunday to win the Premier League. Palace manager Oliver Glasner was sounding cool, calm and collected.
We played excellent football. We created a lot of chances, scored 2 amazing goals, and this is was important for us to get this confidence and belief, and this is what we want to take now into the semi-final of the FA Cup.
If you're waiting patiently for season 5 of Stranger Things to drop on Netflix, the bad news is we still don't have a date for its release. However, the Duffer Brothers, plus some Stranger Things cast favourites, did turn up for the Broadway opening of the Stranger Things play, which is called The First Shadow. It's been running in the West End for a while and it takes place in 1959, but the writers say that the play and the storyline really impacted season 5, which they promise will be like 8 blockbuster movies back to back. Priya Ferguson, who plays Erica Sinclair on the Netflix show, wasn't giving much away on the red carpet.
Y'all know I can't say much, but a lot of your questions will be answered. Definitely darker and emotional. You know, the fan base has been a part of the show since it started, so I think it will be emotional for the fans to see that very last episode.
Back in the day, before Netflix and streaming, there were video shops where you could rent a video or buy a video. In those video shops, there was always a bargain bin, movies that no one would watch or pay for. The good news is those days aren't over. The bad news is the new John Cena and Idris Elba action movie belongs at the very bottom of that bin. It's called Heads of State. It stars John Cena as the US President and Idris as the UK's Prime Minister, alongside Priyanka Chopra Jonas and man of the moment, Jack Quaid. It's so utterly silly, you don't need to know the plot, just that it hits Prime Video on July 2nd.
We just survived the worst security breach in history. The cavalry's coming. So keep calm and carry on. Hey, fellas, how's it going? Yep, we're about to get our asses kicked, man. Read the room.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.
From connecting the real world to the digital world to making them one. Your way to a sustainable digital enterprise. Transform the everyday with Siemens.